Excuse me, can you give me a hand? I really need someone to help me learn English.
And lucky for you, that is exactly what we do here. Welcome to the English Playbook.
You're listening to episode 27, and today we're diving into one of the most essential skills in English, how to ask for help.
Whether it's at the office, at the supermarket, in a hospital, or even in an emergency, knowing how to ask for assistance politely and clearly in English can completely change your experience.
So get comfortable, grab your notebook, because the next 100 minutes are going to be packed with real conversations, vocabulary, and phrases you can use today.
Hello, everyone, and a massive welcome to the English Playbook. I'm David.
And I'm Sarah. We are so happy you're here today.
If you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. Every episode, Sarah and I break down real English in a fun, relaxed, easy-to-follow way. No boring grammar lectures here.
Absolutely not. We talk like real people because that's how you actually learn English.
Exactly. Now, before we get started, we have a question for you. Have you ever been in a situation where you needed help, but you just didn't know how to ask in English?
Maybe you were lost in a city and didn't know how to ask for directions, or maybe you needed help at work but felt embarrassed to ask for boss.
Or, and this is one that I know I've experienced, you needed someone to repeat something because you didn't understand, but you weren't sure how to say it politely.
Today, we fix all of that. We're going to listen to a real workplace dialogue, break down the vocabulary, look at phrases for different situations, and do some live practice together.
Let's go. But first, quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed to the English Playbook yet, hit that subscribe button right now. We release new episodes every week.
Okay, David, I'm ready. Are our listeners ready?
I think they are. Let's start with our main dialogue. Okay, so today's dialogue is set in an office. We have two characters, Tony, an employee who is very busy and overwhelmed with work, and his boss.
Tony feels like he has too much work to do alone. He needs help. So he's going to try to ask his boss for an assistant, someone to help him in the office.
Now, this is a really common situation, right? Whether you're asking for help from a colleague, a boss, or a client, in English, the way you phrase things really matters.
So listen carefully. Pay attention to the vocabulary and also notice the tone, how Tony and his boss speak to each other. Then we'll come back and talk about it all in detail.
Let's listen.
Like I told you before, we just don't have the resources to hire you an assistant.
I understand that, but the fact is we're understaffed.
The timing is just not right. The economy is bad, and it's too risky to take on new staff.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Here's an idea. What if we hire an intern? She would take some of the weight off my shoulders.
She?
Yeah, a recent graduate. She could give me a hand with some of these projects, and we could keep our costs down.
That sounds reasonable. Let me see what I can do. Tony, I'd like to introduce you to your new assistant.
Okay, great. Let's meet her.
Hi, I'm Adam.
Oh, hi. I'm Tony.
Oh, wow. Did you hear that? Tony was not expecting Adam.
No, he was not. He assumed his intern would be a woman because he kept saying she. She would take some of the weight off my shoulders. She could give me a hand.
And then Adam walks in, clearly a guy, and Tony is completely caught off guard.
Now, this is actually a really important cultural and linguistic point. In modern English, especially in professional settings, we try to use gender-neutral language when we don't know someone's gender.
Exactly. Instead of saying she could help me, Tony could have said they could help me using the singular they.
This is something that's become very common in English, especially in business context. Using they or them for one person when gender is unknown is now completely normal and accepted.
Great tip, David. Okay, but before we go deeper on that, let's break down all the amazing vocabulary and phrases in that dialogue.
Before the vocabulary section, let's quickly test your listening. I'll ask a few questions. Pause the episode, think about your answer, then press play.
Question 1. Why does the boss say Tony can't have an assistant?
The boss said they don't have the resources, meaning money, and the timing is just not right because of the bad economy.
Question 2. What solution does Tony suggest?
Tony suggests hiring an intern, a recent graduate who can help with projects and keep costs down.
And question 3, why is Tony surprised at the end?
Tony assumed the intern would be a woman, but the intern is a man named Adam.
Great job if you got all 3 right. Now, vocabulary time.
Okay, everyone, let's go through the 6 key vocabulary words and phrases from the dialogue. Sarah, do you want to start?
I would love to. Our first word is resources. Resources. Things available to help you, usually money, people, or time.
So when the boss says we don't have the resources, he means we don't have the money or the people or the capacity to make this happen.
Resources is a very flexible word. It can mean money in a business context, but it can also mean tools, skills, or time. For example,
We used all our resources to complete the project.
or this company has incredible resources for research and development. Let's say it together. Resources.
Resources. Understaffed. When a place doesn't have enough employees or workers.
Understaffed. This is a compound adjective. Under plus staffed. Under means not enough. Staffed means having workers. So understaffed equals not enough workers.
You might hear this a lot in hospitals, restaurants, schools, basically any place where they're short on people.
Example, the hospital was understaffed during the holiday season. Or, I had to work overtime because our team is understaffed.
The opposite, overstaffed, when you have too many workers. Let's say both. Understaffed,
Understaffed?
overstaffed. The timing is just not right. It's not a good time for something to happen.
Now, this is a phrase, not just a single word, and it's so useful in everyday English.
The timing is just not right. It means this isn't a good moment for this. The situation isn't ideal right now.
You can use this in business. We'd love to expand, but the timing is just not right. Or in personal life, I want to travel, but the timing is just not right with my new job.
It's a polite and professional way to say not now without being harsh or rude. Very useful when you need to soften bad news.
Let's say it together. The timing is just not right.
The timing is just not right. Weight off my shoulders. Now this is an idiom, a figurative expression. Imagine carrying a very heavy backpack. Now imagine someone takes it off your back. How do you feel? Relieved, light.
That feeling of relief, that's a weight off your shoulders. So when Tony says she would take some of the weight off my shoulders, he means she would relieve some of his stress and workload.
Example, finishing that big presentation was a huge weight off my shoulders. Or having someone to help with the kids is really a weight off my shoulders.
Beautiful idiom. Let's say it. Weight off my shoulders.
Weight off my shoulders. Give me a hand to help someone with something.
Okay, give me a hand. David, what does this literally mean?
Literally, I would actually give you my hand, like remove it.
Exactly, which is not what we mean. Give me a hand simply means help me. It's a very common and formal expression.
Can you give me a hand with these boxes means can you help me carry these boxes? Simple and natural.
You can also say lend me a hand, same meaning, or just help me out, or give me a hand with. Let's drill it. Give me a hand.
Give me a hand. And our final vocabulary item, keep our costs down. In the dialogue, Tony says hiring an intern would help them keep their costs down, meaning they won't spend as much money as hiring a full-time employee.
This is very common in business English. You can also say cut costs, meaning to reduce expenses. We need to cut costs this quarter. Or let's find ways to keep our costs down.
Great. So to summarize all 6 vocabulary items, resources, understaffed, the timing is just not right, weight off my shoulders, give me a hand, and keep costs down.
Write those down. We'll come back to practice them in a drill later in the episode.
All right, everyone, let's listen to the dialogue one more time. This time, pay attention to how Tony asks for help. Notice his strategy.
Tony doesn't just say, I need help. He builds an argument. He acknowledges the boss's concerns. He offers a creative solution. That's advanced communication.
Let's listen.
Okay, let's break down Tony's strategy step by step.
Step 1. Tony acknowledges the boss's point.
He says, I understand that, before making his own argument. This is huge. It shows respect and emotional intelligence.
When you say, I understand that, or I see your point, but you're showing that you've listened to the other person, even if you disagree.
Step 2. Tony presents a fact. The fact is, we're understaffed. He's not just complaining, he's making an objective case.
Step 3, Tony offers a creative solution. Instead of just repeating, I need an assistant, he suggests a different option, an intern, which addresses the cost concern.
This is brilliant negotiation. He meets the boss halfway. The boss's problem was budget. Tony's solution, an intern, costs less. Win-win.
And finally, step 4, when the boss says, that sounds reasonable, Tony responds positively and moves forward. He doesn't push too hard or argue more than necessary.
These are the kinds of communication skills that are so important at work in any language, but especially in English.
David, let's also talk about the phrase, that sounds reasonable.
Great point. That sounds reasonable is such a useful phrase. It means, okay, that makes sense to me. I can accept that. It's fair.
It's very common in business and everyday English. Can we meet at 3 p.m.? That sounds reasonable. I'll give you a 10% discount. That sounds reasonable.
It's a way of agreeing without being overly enthusiastic. It sounds calm, professional, and measured.
And it's softer than just saying, okay, or fine. That sounds reasonable shows that you've thought about it and you agree it's a fair deal.
That sounds reasonable. A polite way to accept a suggestion or proposal means that seems fair and acceptable.
Okay, let's move beyond the office. Asking for help isn't just a work skill. You need it everywhere, on the street, in shops, at transport hubs, in hospitals.
And the good news is, there are some really simple phrases that work in almost every situation. Let's go through them. Starter phrases for asking a stranger. Excuse me, the most common way to politely get someone's attention. Always start with this.
I'm sorry to bother you, but acknowledge that you're interrupting before making your request.
Could you help me, please? Formal and polite request for assistance.
Would you mind? Very polite phrasing. Would you mind showing me the way?
David, let's do some mini role plays so listeners can hear these phrases in context. I love it. Okay, I'll be a confused tourist in a new city. Sarah, you're a helpful local. Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, but could you help me find the train station?
Of course, it's just 2 blocks down the street, then turn right. You'll see it on the left.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No problem at all. Have a great day.
See how natural that sounds? Now, some situations require more specific language. Let's look at a few.
Situation-specific phrases.
In a supermarket, excuse me, could you tell me where the bread is? Or, I'm looking for the dairy section. Could you point me in the right direction?
In a train or bus station, excuse me, which platform does the train to the city center leave from? Or could you tell me when the next bus arrives?
In a hospital, I need to find Dr. Smith's office. Could you help me, please? Or, I'm not sure which form to fill in. Could someone assist me?
In a restaurant, excuse me, could I get some water, please? Or, I'm sorry to bother you, but could we get the bill?
Now, what about tone? David, this is something you mentioned before that I want us to explore a bit. Yes, your tone of voice is just as important as your words. If you say, excuse me, can you help me, in a rude, impatient tone, even though the words are polite, the person might not want to help.
A calm, clear, friendly tone goes a very long way. Even just smiling slightly when you speak can make your voice sound warmer.
And if someone seems busy or distracted, wait for a natural pause before approaching them. This shows patience and respect.
Excellent points. And once someone helps you, always say thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help. That was so helpful. Thank you. Don't underestimate the power of gratitude. Exactly. Asking your best friend for help sounds very different from asking your professor, your boss, or a stranger. Hey, can you help me with this? Relaxed and natural for people you know well. Could you give me a hand? Friendly, but still polite. Do you mind helping me for a sec? Informal. A sec means a second or a moment. I need a favor signals you're about to ask for help. David, let's do a role play. Casual setting.
Hey, do you mind giving me a hand with these boxes? They're really heavy.
Sure, no problem. Where do you want them?
Simple, easy, natural, no ceremony. Now, formal setting, asking a manager at work.
Good morning. I'm sorry to take up your time, but I was hoping you could clarify the instructions for the Miller project. I want to make sure I'm on the right track.
Of course, let's go through it together. Pull up the file and I'll walk you through it.
See the difference? In a formal setting, we use more complete sentences. We apologize for the interruption, and we explain why we need help.
Could you clarify? Politely ask for more explanation or details. I was wondering if you could help me with very formal and respectful way to introduce a request. Would it be possible to used when the request might inconvenience the other person? I'm having some difficulty with, could you assist me? Professional language for asking for support at work.
A great tip, when asking your boss for help, show that you've already tried to solve the problem. Something like, I've tried doing X and Y, but I'm still stuck. Could you advise me?
This shows initiative and effort, and your boss will appreciate it much more than if you just say, I don't understand.
This is something people often overlook when learning a language. Body language. Your body sends messages even before you open your mouth.
Especially in English-speaking cultures. In places like the UK, USA, Canada, and Australia, body language plays a really big role in communication. So, when you're asking for help, let's talk about some do's and don'ts.
The do's. Do make eye contact. Looking at the person shows confidence and that you're engaged.
Do smile slightly. A gentle smile makes you appear friendly and approachable.
Do speak at a clear, moderate pace. Not too fast, not too slow.
Do use open body language. Hands visible, relaxed posture, face the person directly.
Don't cross your arms. It can look defensive or closed off.
Don't look down or avoid eye contact. It can come across as unconfident or suspicious.
Don't speak too quietly. People may not hear you or may feel uncomfortable asking you to repeat yourself.
Don't approach someone who looks extremely busy without acknowledging it first. Try, I can see you're busy, but when you have a moment.
And one more tip, using gestures to make your request clearer. If you're asking for directions, pointing to a map is really helpful.
Or if you need help lifting something heavy, gesturing to the object shows exactly what you need without having to describe it.
Combining clear language with helpful body language makes communication so much smoother.
Okay, everybody, drill time. Sarah and I are going to go through the vocabulary from today. First, we'll say the definition. You try to say the word or phrase before we do.
Then we'll give you an example sentence. Pause and repeat each sentence 3 times. Let's go. Definition. Money and people available for a task. The word is
Resources. Example, we don't have the resources to start a new project this year.
definition. Not enough workers. The word is
Understaffed. Example, the restaurant is understaffed on weekends, so service is slow.
definition. It's not a good moment for this. The phrase is
The timing is just not right. Example, I want to ask for a raise, but the timing is just not right.
definition. Removing stress or pressure. The phrase is
A weight off my shoulders. Example, finishing my exams was such a weight off my shoulders.
definition. To help someone. The phrase is
Give me a hand. Example, could you give me a hand with this report?
definition. To reduce spending. The phrase is
Keep costs down. Example, we switched to email to keep our printing costs down.
excellent. Now let's do a speaking challenge. I'll give you a situation. Say the request out loud in English. Ready?
Situation 1. You're in a store and you can't find the coffee. Ask an employee politely.
Pause 5 seconds. Great. A possible answer. Excuse me, could you tell me where the coffee is, please?
Situation 2. Your colleague has too many files to carry. Offer to help them.
Pause 5 seconds. Possible answer. Here, let me give you a hand with those files.
Situation 3. You're in a meeting and your manager has said something you didn't understand. Ask for clarification.
Pause 5 seconds. Possible answer. I'm sorry, could you clarify that last point, please? I want to make sure I understand correctly.
Okay, bonus segment. In the dialogue, Tony suggests hiring an intern. Let's talk a little bit about what an intern actually is.
Great idea. So, an intern or an internship is when someone, usually a recent graduate or a student, works at a company for a period of time, usually a few months, to gain experience.
Internships can be paid or unpaid. They're very common in the US, UK, Canada, and Australia, and they're a really important stepping stone in many careers.
I actually started my first job as an intern. After about 3 months, the company liked my work so much they offered me a full-time position.
So, internships can lead to real jobs, and even when they don't, the experience, the connections, the skills you gain, those are incredibly valuable.
Now, interns are sometimes stereotyped as just making coffee or doing photocopying, and yes, that does happen, but many internships offer real responsibilities.
The key is to show initiative, ask for work, offer to help, be proactive, exactly the kind of communication skills we've been talking about today.
How do you say intern in your language? Drop it in the comments below. We'd love to see. Wow, what a fantastic episode. Sarah, let's do a quick recap before we say goodbye.
Absolutely. Today, in episode 27 of the English Playbook, we covered so much. First, we listened to a workplace dialogue where Tony asked his boss for an assistant.
We learned 6 keywords and phrases: resources, understaffed, the timing is just not right, weight off my shoulders, give me a hand, and keep costs down.
We also looked at how Tony asked for help, acknowledging the boss's concerns, presenting facts, and offering a creative solution. That's smart communication.
We covered polite phrases for asking help from strangers in formal and informal situations, and we talked about body language and tone.
We did a vocabulary drill, a speaking challenge, and we even learned about internship culture in English-speaking countries.
That is a lot for one episode. If you made it to the end, incredible. You should be very proud of yourself.
Before we go, our challenge for you this week. Go out and use one of these phrases in real life. Ask for help somewhere, even if it's small. Notice how the other person responds.
And then come back and tell us about it in the comments below. We read every single comment and we love hearing your stories.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like. It really helps the channel grow.
And if you know someone who's learning English, share this episode with them. That would be a huge help. You'd really be taking a weight off our shoulders.
See what he did there? Using today's vocabulary.
Always. All right, everyone, from David
And Sarah, thank you so much for listening. Keep practicing, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode of
The English Playbook. Goodbye.